Once there were dragons, and the very first and the very worst was called Stoorworm. Stoorworm was vast. He was so tall that his nose rested on the northernmost tip of Scotland, and his body wound its way all the way down to the south. He was so wide that his belly stretched from east to west. And this would not have been a problem for the people of Scotland if Stoorworm had been a nice dragon, the kind of dragon who talks about the weather and asks how your grandma is. But Stoorworm was not a nice dragon. And if Stoorworm asked after the health of your grandmother, it was probably because he intended to eat her. Now the people of Scotland were very upset. Stoorworm kept eating all their animals, burning down their villages, eating their grandmas. And so eventually the people sent a messenger to the king of all of Scotland. And they said, "Oh, Your Majesty, it's terrible. Stoorworm, that big old dragon, he has eaten all of our sheep. We haven't got any left. Oh, it's awful. Oh, Your Majesty, something terrible's happened. Stoorworm has burned down our whole village. In fact, all of the villages around, they've just gone in a puff of smoke. Oh, Your Majesty, Stoorworm has eaten my great aunt Mildred." Oh, I'm sorry. And the king would watch them all come, and he'd sit there, he's quite a big guy, eating his food. Oh, that's a terrible, the whole village. Oh, God, Mildred. Oh. And eventually, the king had heard enough of these stories that he put down his plate of food. It was a big thing for the king to put down his food. And he said, "Right, that's it. Something needs to be done about this dragon." And so the king made a proclamation. He called across the land for champions, and he said that for anyone who could defeat this dragon, he would give 3 gifts. The first gift was gold, jewels, money, riches, wealth, more than you'd know what to do with. The second gift, land, a palace, and acres to lord over. And the third gift was the hand in marriage of his daughter, the Princess Gemdalovely. And so champions came from all over the land to the palace with their long flowing locks and their big shields and their big swords. "Yes, I am a champion. I'm going to defeat the dragon. Yeah, I've been sword fighting all my life. This will be fine." And Princess Gemdalovely sat in her room, and she saw all the champions coming and going. Didn't really think very much of them. Well, not so sure. I mean, they all think they're big and strong, but none of them were really her type. And then one day, into the castle courtyard, there comes a young lad called Asipattle. He is not a champion. He's not particularly strong or particularly brave, but he is particularly kind. He's a poet and a storyteller. And he has come to the palace to watch all the comings and goings in the courtyard. "Oh my goodness, Sir Roderick looks so lovely in the sunlight with his golden hair. I think I'm going to write a poem about him. Oh, look at that butterfly on that bush. Oh, that's really beautiful." And then, up in the palace, he sees Princess Gemdalovely. Oh, she is beautiful. She looks really lovely. The most beautiful woman that Asipattle has ever seen. And Gemdalovely looks down out of her window, and she sees him down there too. Ooh, he looks all right. Very different to all these other men. Ooh, he looks like a human. He looks nice. And so they look at each other and they do that thing that you do when you kind of fancy someone, or they wave from the windows. And after about 3 days of that, Asipattle decides to go into the palace to talk to the king and ask if he can speak to the Princess Gemdalovely in person with words and everything. It's amazing. And the king, he's eating, an entire leg of mutton or something, and he sees Asipattle come in and he goes, You don't look much like a champion to me, laddie. Are you sure you're in the right place? And Asipetto goes, no, I'm not a champion. I really want to talk to your daughter, the Princess Gem. They're lovely. I think she's really, really beautiful. And the king goes, no. You see, I've promised my daughter's hand in marriage to whoever defeats the dragon. So if you just go and talk to her, it's not going to work. No way. But fortunately, the Princess Gemdalovely has seen this happen, seen this conversation. And she comes out from behind the shadows and she says, all right, Dad, well, what if we defeat the dragon? Then can we have a chat? And the king thinks about it. And he thinks about it some more. But if you... And thinks about it some more. All right, you can go. But you're my daughter. I'll no let you go alone. I'll give you a weapon to defeat the dragon. I'll give you my sword. Oh, my sword. She's called Dragon's Bane. She's huge and she was forged in the heart of a dying star. She's amazing. And no, I lent my sword to King Duncan last week. Not to worry, you can have my dagger. My dagger, she may be wee, but she's fierce. She's called Snake's Bane. And she's tight. I lost her in the pub last week. Not to worry, you can have this plate. It's called Lizard Basher. There you go. She takes the plate. Yeah, thanks, Dad. Great. But anyway, off they go. Gemdalovely and Asipetto, off they go to the dragon, Stoorworm. They walk all the way up his winding tail, his winding back, until they rest on the very tip of Stoorworm's nose. And Stoorworm has just finished polishing off an entire flock of sheep. And suddenly he notices there's two things on his nose. Get off! And they fall down to the ground. And he says, oh, some more humans. Oh, I do like you humans. You don't look quite as meaty as the normal ones, but I'll polish you off. Come here. And Gemdalovely goes, wait. No, don't eat us. No, we've got something to say. And someone goes, oh, the last words. Okay, carry on. Yes, do. And she says, now, Stoorworm, she's putting on a brave face. She's a bit scared, but, you know, she's going to be brave. Stoorworm, my father, the king, has sent all these champions to come and defeat you. And Stoorworm goes, oh, yes, I like them. They're delicious. It's a little bit, you know, the long hair does get stuck in my teeth. But other than that, they're wonderful, yes. No. Because, Stoorworm, you have been eating all of our aunts and we don't like it anymore. And so we're going to come and defeat you. We've come to ask you very nicely if you'll please stop. And Stoorworm goes, stop? No, I don't think I will. I rather like eating all the people. The old ladies, oh, they're delicious. They have such a nice crunch. Like very crisp on the outside. But no, I'm going to carry on eating them. And in fact, I think I'm going to start with you now, actually. I've had quite enough of this last words business. Up you come and be eaten. And Gemdalovely goes, wait. Oh, Stoorworm, great and wonderful Stoorworm, the very first, the very worst. Before I die, I have a favour to ask you, because I have always wanted to get right up close to you in person. I've heard all the stories, you're amazing, and I really want to just come and look you right in your very large, quite terrifying eyes. Can I do that before I die, before you eat me? Can I bring my friend? Can we come and look you in the eyes? And Stoorworm says, oh, you. Oh, you've heard the story. Oh, how nice. Oh, all right then, yes. Okay, you come up here. You come up here, right back to my nose, and you could look in my eyes before you eat me. Come on. And so the princess and Ashipatel start climbing all the way up the dragon's bodies. They travel up his legs, and it starts to tickle a little bit. Oh, I mean, rah! And they travel all the way up his tummies. Oh, rah! They travel all the way up until they rest right on the tip of Stoorworm's nose. And Gemda Lovely, she looks right in Stoorworm's big yellow eyes. She reaches behind her, pulls out the plate, and bang! She whacks him over the head with it. Ow! That really hurt, actually. Bang! Oh, that was right in my bang! Oh! She hits him so hard that his eyes pop out of his skull and fall into the sea and become the islands of Jura and Butte. She hits him so hard in the mouth that his teeth fall out of his head and become the Outer Hebrides. The Outer Hebrides. It's quite hard to say. Outer Hebrides. And then she hits him one last time, smack, in the head. And he feels very, very dizzy and a little bit sick. And Stoorworm, the great dragon, falls backwards into the sea, completely unconscious, and drifts off. Whew. Well, Gemda Lovely puts down her plate, and she and Ashipatel look at each other and wipe the sweat from their brows and hold hands kind of tentatively, and off they walk into the sunset, having defeated the very first and the very worst dragon. Now, I don't know what became of them. Maybe they went out for dinner. But I do know what became of Stoorworm. Because Stoorworm was not dead. He was just unconscious. He was in a very, very deep sleep. And he drifted out into the sea, away from Scotland to the north, the cold sea, and sank and was covered with snow. And he still snores beneath the waves today. And when he snores, he breathes out ash. And those tiny little midges of ash fly back to Scotland. You might see them if you go there in the summer, as a reminder of Stoorworm, the very first and the very worst dragon.